Check. Is this thing on? Is this thing on? It is. We appear to be live. Excellent. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the morning show. This is Stock Market TV. Spencer Israel, JC Parets. Steve Strazza will be back on the show tomorrow, Mariana. In the meantime, we'll have Jeff Mackey stop by today. Tell us why he was not surprised at all about the record Black Friday, Cyber Monday results that we got. Yeah, I don't know if you saw the headlines. It was a record weekend for U.S. consumers. Yeah, Jeff wasn't shocked in the least. So talk about that today, and kind of his plan of attack for making money from all that spending. And we'll have Dr. Phil stop by as well. We'll have Kenny Glick stop by as well. Good morning, chat. Good morning from Houston. All right, never been to Houston. I hear it's hot and humid. That's all I really know. Good morning, Sam. Good morning, Warning Track Cards and Yoso. Not on call. Scott, Chris, Risky Business, Big Nasty Weather. We did not get any snow, JC. I don't know if you did. But speaking of JC, he's here. Let's bring him out, all right?
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Are you going to watch the Diddy documentary tonight?
No.
I don't think I am either. I kind of feel a little bit like raunchy. Like I'm not one of those kind of I'm not one of those kind of people.
I didn't even know there was. I didn't even know there was one on it.
Yeah, honest. 50 Cent was on Good Morning America. You're not watching Good Morning America?
No.
Hold on one second.
Haven't watched a show like that. I couldn't even tell you last time. All right.
Yeah, it comes out tonight. I don't know that I'm going to watch it. I kind of feel a little bit bad about myself. Like, why would I want to watch the destruction of a human, whether he deserved it or not? You know?
No, not interesting to me.
Yeah, not really interesting to me either. I don't think I'm going to watch it. I thought about it. I'm like, should I watch it? Because I'm old school hip hop.
Sure.
I like that kind of stuff. 50 Cent back in
of
college.
A generation.
Yeah.
I get it. If you're of a certain generation, then like he was a big deal. I'm a little bit too young to appreciate, Puff Daddy, P Diddy, like that whole era. I kind of just missed all that, so I don't really care. All right.
That was my childhood.
Yeah, I know.
I rode my bike to go buy the Biggie double album, Life After Death. Remember that one?
Yeah.
I rode my bicycle. I have never ridden my bike faster in my entire life. Now, before that, not since then. Boy, was I riding fast to go to the Specs on US 1 and 136th Street down in Miami. And I
shout out Route 1.
Checkers.
Shout out Route 1. Goes from Maine to Florida, right through my hometown. All right. Let's talk some markets, all right?
Let's do it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've got the Dow futures up 80 points this morning, 47,430. S&P 500 futures up 0.25%, 17 handles, 68.45. NASDAQ 100 leading the way this morning, up over 0.33%, 25,490, up almost 100 this morning. 30-year bond futures relatively muted at 116. You got crude oil down 0.5% at 59. Copper down 1% at 5.25. Gold down 1% at 42.35. Silver down 1.6%, 58.13. Wow, 58.13 down to 58.13. Just to reiterate, and the old volatility index down slightly, back under 17, 1673, down slightly on the day. Over in funny money land, Bitcoin up 1,000 points this morning, 87,420, 87,420 for the BTC. You got Ethereum up as well, 1.4%, 2840, up 40 handles on the day for Ethereum. And Solana 130, up 3% on the day. That brings the total crypto market cap, Mr. Spencer Israel, 2.93 trillion,
yeah.
Down 1.3 trillion from that 4.2 trillion high that we saw on October the 6th.
How much time has to pass before you no longer will say, before you no longer cite that $4 trillion number? I think at least a few more weeks has to pass before we can just not continuously cite that.
4.2 trillion down to 2.8. What was the low? The low was 2.7.
Oh.
1.5 trillion gone, just like that. What stands out from this morning's futures, sir?
From the futures, I mean, nothing really. I was looking at kind of the big mover in the morning, which is MongoDB, one of my favorite company names. I don't know what it means. Well, I know the DB means database, but I don't know what Mongo is. But I like
DB
it.
Stands for database. I just learned that.
Yeah. Well, I always assumed so.
And and why is this thing up 23%?
Earnings, baby. Earnings. That's all you need to know. The numbers for last quarter came in above estimates. The guidance for this quarter came in above estimates. They talked about AI growth and strength in the cloud, and everything was pretty good, honestly. So they actually raised their guidance for the year, which is always a nice touch. So hey, we're gonna make more money than we thought we were going to before. Anyway, it's in line for its best day. It's the number one stock on my my movers scan this morning, at least on the upside, none on the downside, but on the upside. And like I said, up almost 23% now.
Monster move. We had our conference call last night for members of All-Star Charts, and we did a deep dive on the small caps. We did a bigger deep dive on the small caps than we may have ever done in the history of a monthly chart strategy session. How do you feel about that, sir?
That's fitting. That's in line with what Sam said yesterday.
Yeah. Why don't you throw up slide 3? You got the old Russell 2000 futures this morning. Where are the Russell 2000 futures? Russell 2000 futures are up 60 basis points, actually, leading the way across the board. New all-time highs for the third consecutive month, Spencer Israel. So for a market that, people keep telling me that there aren't any stocks going up and it's just a few stocks and market breadth is so weak, that is 3 consecutive months that the Russell 2000 small cap index closes at the highest level ever. How many people are talking about that, Spencer?
I don't know exactly. I'm not keeping a score of who's talking about what.
How many times have you heard someone say that the Russell 2000 small cap index has closed at the highest level ever for 3 consecutive months? How many people are saying that? In the chat, anybody? You got anybody talking about that? I don't see anybody.
You would know better than I, because you keep tabs on what's out there more than me. I'm like at this point, this is kind of what Steve said a few months ago. Most of what I'm reading, frankly, is like just you guys these days. I've been reading or just looking. Maybe I'm on Twitter less. Maybe that's the issue. Is I'm just seeing less of what other people are doing. So I don't really have the answer to your question. I don't know. Sorry.
Our man Higgins talking about Bitcoin still in a bear market. Bitcoin is not in a bear market. We are in a raging bull market, and Bitcoin is underperforming in that environment. An individual asset doesn't enter into its own bear market like it lives in this vacuum. You have bull markets and you have bear markets. This is a raging bull market that Bitcoin and software stocks, for that matter, Bitcoin and software really trading together, have really been underperforming with. That doesn't make it a bear market. That just means they suck.
That's a technicality. I mean, if people want to call it a bear market,
I mean, it's not a bear market. If you think this is a bear market, you should check yourself into an insane asylum.
Just let them call it a bear market. Let them call it a bear market. It's not hurting anybody.
Harminder says JC watches CNBC secretly. The truth is, I really wouldn't even know where to watch it, right? Like, isn't that like a channel on basic cable? Right?
Yeah. Speaking of basic cable.
Who has basic cable in 2025? We're almost in 2026. Like, where am I going to watch this network?
The other week, you know what I did? I went and I bought myself one of those antennas that you can plug into the back of your TV.
Do they still make those?
Not only do they make those, they're like $20. And if you don't have cable, it's just a free way to get like 2, 4, 5, 7, like 9, 11. You know what I mean? Like all those basic channels that like our parents had growing up. That's all they had, and that's still over the air, and that's totally free if you have an antenna. So I went and got an antenna to get like the basic cable on my TV because I don't have any channels. So but
Bitcoin negative year to date, and it's in a downtrend, but that doesn't make this a bear market. It's a raging bull market. Let's get back to the bull market.
It's down 30% from the highs. If you want to call that a bear market in Bitcoin,
it's an underperformer in a bull market. It's a terrible asset in a raging bull market.
Technicality.
Everything's going up except Bitcoin, so that makes it a bear market. No,
not every. That is not true. Not everything is.
Okay, why don't we look at everything? Let's take a look at the next slide, please. So here we're looking at the biggest weightings, the most important types of stocks in the small cap index. I would argue that these are the most important sectors. Go to the next one. These are the most important sectors in the market in general, right? Forget small cap. So we're looking at technology at all-time highs, industrials at all-time highs, and then you've got consumer discretionary and financials looking to complete monster bases within the context of ongoing uptrends. Taking a look at I would argue the four most important sectors in markets, certainly four of the most important sectors in small caps. Together, these four represent 60% of the Russell 2000, and there is nothing bearish about these at all. And then I got one more, and then this is probably the granddaddy of them all, is the healthcare, right? So healthcare represents an additional 16% of the Russell 2000. So combined with those other four, financials, industrials, technology, and consumer discretionary, now add healthcare. Those are the top five. That's 75% of the entire small cap index. And small cap healthcare isn't all biotech, but biotech sure as hell is a lot of small cap healthcare. I actually own one small cap healthcare stock that is not a biotechnology stock, believe it or not. So they do exist, but biotech certainly dominates it. That's why the small cap healthcare index and the biotech index look very similar. Biotech just had its highest close since 2021, while small cap healthcare as an index just closed at its highest level since January. Meanwhile, large cap healthcare just closed at all-time highs. It was just at 52-week lows a few months ago. Now it's at all-time highs. So we call that sector rotation.
JC,
sector rotation is the lifeblood of a bull market.
Remind me when we entered the best seasonal period. Was it 4 weeks ago?
The best seasonal period you want to buy in October and get yourself sober. So I think like the ideal time, I mean, you could go check it. It's sometime like in the middle-ish of October.
6 weeks ago. Okay, 6 weeks ago. All right. So seasonality, the seasonal patterns are working so far. It's safe to say. We're 6 weeks in.
Well, during the weakest time of the year, stocks did great. Remember, this is one of the best summers of all time. In fact, the worst 6-month period is between the beginning of May through October. That's the worst 6-month period historically. 2025 was the worst 6-month period of all time.
That is a fun fact.
That is a fun fact. That comes from my man Jeff Hirsch, the man, the myth, the legend. And then so the last chart here that I wanted to show, and then we can move on, is that the Russell 2000, people fail to forget. We did some math yesterday, you and me, Spencer. The Russell 2000 represents 2/3 of the Russell 3000, right? The Russell 3000, for those who don't know, represents, and this is this is like how they, in the fact sheet for the Russell 3000, like how they describe it, is that the Russell 3000 represents over 98% of all investable assets in the U.S. equities market. So this really is the U.S. equities market, and the Russell 2000 just closed at an all-time high 3 consecutive months, and it represents 2/3 of this index. So when I have people telling me that there aren't any stocks going up and market breadth is weak, I wonder if I'm in the twilight zone. Are you too young for that? You are too young for that.
Well, I mean, I'm too young to have seen it.
I'm too young for that, but I know it.
I've 100% seen the Twilight Zone. Like that show has been in syndication for 50 years.
Has it still?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's still on TV. Definitely.
I have. So I want to talk. Somebody in the chat asking about insurance. Is that the topic that you want to discuss most, Spencer?
Like in insurance stocks?
Yeah.
Or like portfolio insurance?
Insurance stocks. Portfolio insurance, people already got it. Remember, they paid up for it over the last couple of weeks. They paid some of the highest prices of all time.
Right. What do you want to talk about?
Well, if you throw up slide,
technically, it's healthcare.
if you throw up slide 16,
we just kind of talked about that.
Insurance is not healthcare at all. Insurance is financial.
Oh, they're financials. Sorry, I was thinking. I'm looking at UNH in my defense.
How do we feel about this? Is one of the largest components of the Dow Jones Industrial Average making new all-time highs. How do we feel about that?
Wait, was this in the call last night, or did you just have this? Okay, I was like,
it most definitely was.
Okay, otherwise,
how do we feel about this?
That'd be impressive. I like one of the many things I've learned from you guys is just sort of whatever the financials are doing. That's kind of a hint for everything else. So if the financials are going up, then
look at Travelers, a 1-year base. A 1-year base within the context of a secular uptrend, in case you didn't see the chart goes from the lower left to the upper right. A 1-year consolidation breaking out to new all-time highs. And
what's funny about this chart too is like this chart makes it look like Travelers most of the time it does nothing, right? And then it'll have these like 1 to 6 month periods where all the gains happen, and then it does nothing.
Then consolidate. And then break out, and then
does nothing for a year. Breaks out for 2 months. Does nothing for a year. Breaks out for a quarter. Does nothing for a year, right, or more. Several years. I mean,
so let's get into some of these other financials.
This must be frustrating to own.
Spencer's right. These financials are the most important stocks, and they look great. So
I'm not. I didn't say that. I said that you said that.
We got Harminder here saying financials. No, not Harminder. Somebody who said it. Taramis says XLF ain't looking great to me, but okay. Well, let's take a look at the largest components of the XLF, which is the financials index, and talk about whether they look good or not. So go to the next one there. And we just continue to see so much strength. I mean, I just don't know when people say, "Oh, there's no strength, there's nothing working." Like I wonder if, like, again, like sometimes I think I'm in the twilight zone. I mean, I really do feel that way. Here, I got
I mean, you can see why somebody would say XLF does not look.
I can't. We're going to look at it now in a minute. I really don't know what is so bad about the XLF, but we'll look at it now in a minute. Let's take a look at the largest components, because at the end of the day, it's a market of stocks. Look at Goldman Sachs making all-time highs. Is the world coming to an end, and we're going to have this massive debt crisis like these economists and journalists keep telling us, with Goldman Sachs hitting the highest levels ever? European banks hitting the highest levels ever. Indian financials hitting the highest levels ever. Canadian financials hitting the highest levels ever. I don't know. Doesn't seem bearish to me. Look, Goldman Sachs, new all-time highs. Next. We got JP Morgan, all-time highs. Next. We got American Express, new all-time highs. I'm told the consumer is broke and can't afford anything. And the world's about to completely collapse. And despite all of that, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, American Express, all hitting new all-time highs. Next chart. Remember Apple was a big deal? Big deal, Apple. New all-time highs. Next. IBM, all-time highs. All-time highs, IBM. I mean, we can keep doing this. We can keep playing this game all we want. These are all Dow components. Cisco, highest levels in 25 years.
Wait, I thought we were talking about financials. How do we get on Apple and IBM?
Caterpillar, all-time highs. It just, it's not just financial. So here you go. Throw up the new slide 29.
But at least acknowledge, look, the XLF is up, 10% this year? S&P is up 17. So it hasn't been good. It has underperformed in a bull market.
Definitely not, Spencer. Financials were the leaders off the lows in 2022. The XLF is up 50%.
We're talking about different time frames here.
What?
We're talking about different time frames. I'm talking about this year.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I just don't. I don't see. Look, take a look at it. This is a massive uptrend, right? So this thing doubled, right? Financials. So the most important sector in the world doubled. The ones in America, anyway. The financials around the world tripled and quadrupled, but we don't need to go there. Let's stick with America. I see a breakout and a successful retest of that prior resistance from last year, and off to the races we go. And we have European banks making all-time highs, Brazilian banks making all-time highs, Canadian banks making all-time highs, Indian banks making all-time highs, Japanese banks making all-time highs.
I'm acknowledging.
This looks bad to you?
I don't know who said that in the chat. I don't know who brought this up in the first place, but whoever it was, I'm acknowledging you. I see you. XLF has underperformed this year. I get it. So that's all.
Regional banks absolutely ripping, right?
I mean, it's it's gotten crushed by technology and even utilities, right? So yeah, I understand. I understand.
So I think financials look great, and financials looking great is
I think great is a strong word.
I just showed you the most important financials: Goldman
again,
Sachs, JP Morgan, American Express, Travelers, all hitting new all-time highs, and you're telling me financials don't look good. Like this is the twilight zone.
No, I'm saying they don't. I'm saying they don't look great.
Berkshire Hathaway represents
also.
Listen, remember, Berkshire Hathaway is the largest weighting of the financials, and remember how much cash these folks decided to raise. They have historic levels of cash, and everybody's telling me that why does JC think he's smarter than Warren Buffett? Maybe if Warren Buffett wasn't raising so much cash, he wouldn't be underperforming everything.
No one's talking about Berkshire Hathaway's cash pile.
Oh yeah. They were telling me last year that I thought that I was hot shit because I thought that I was smarter than Warren Buffett.
No,
he's raising all this cash, and I should be going to cash too because the old man's getting conservative. No, they were just wrong. And that's why they've massively underperformed, because they had all this cash in the middle of a raging bull market. And if any of you idiots would have gone back and done the work, you would have also seen that every time Warren Buffett is raising a ton of cash, it's historically a great time to be buying stocks. And this time was no different.
That is not a viable analysis to
I've
say
done the math. Go back
and
look at all the times that Warren Buffett has raised
I'm agreeing
cash.
with you. I'm agreeing with you. I'm saying to suggest that the stocks are going to come down because Berkshire Hathaway has a huge cash pile is not a viable thing to say. So people who say that
the answer. So why do we care about all this stuff? Why do we care about all this stuff? Because we need to decide how we're going to spend our time. When I wake up in the morning, what am I doing? Am I looking for stocks to buy? Am I spending my time doing that? Or am I spending my time looking for stocks to sell? And the answer is it's a raging bull market, and we want to spend our time looking for stocks to buy. And if you've been doing anything else, you've been wrong.
I thought you were spending time in the metaverse, honestly. I'm not sure.
My real estate in the metaverse ain't worth diddly squat. My real estate in the real world, IRL, is actually doing way better than my real estate in the metaverse.
That's good to know. Hey, we got Kenny in the house.
It's a bull market.
Kenny, you want to pop in? Tell us what you're buying today or selling.
MongoDB, fade in MongoDB.
He might be. Let's find out.
It's been a long time coming. They ain't come from my club, they tug it. Putting up numbers, 99 pounds, and I still kept it 100. Hold up. Yeah.
Kenny Glick in the house.
You're talking about Brazilian banks? Let's go, baby. Woo!
Dude, my Brazilian bank stock. Did you see this thing? I'm in the NU. Brazilian regional banks.
How many other ones are there?
Huh?
I don't know.
How many other ones are there? NU is the only one that anyone knows.
I just know a stock with a Z in it. PLRZ. Let's go, people. What's this piece of shit this morning? Let's go. Reverse stock split. I think it's if you liked it at 2.6 million, you gotta love it here at 750, Mr. Jones. Pick up all you can. What's up? I don't know.
Wait, Kenny,
MongoDB.
Mongo, yeah, you know what? That stock last time they reported earnings, it was gapped up 23%. It didn't do anything, so I'm kind of scared to short this one. But Credo is the other one, CRDO. It's a little bit of fade right now, but pre-market, we're looking for some action. There's not much going on, but yesterday was awesome. The market gapped down like it was going to go down on a Monday and basically steadily went up all day. By the way, if you think yesterday was bearish, no, super bullish. Just consolidation of this monster move. We're about to break out and rip 100% across the board. And there's nothing anybody could do about it. Sorry. But I'm with you, man. There's nothing getting in the way of the market. I think we're just going to keep powering higher and higher and higher. And nothing I could do about it. They gave me my one sell-off for the year. So I might have to just take my bearishness and pack a bag.
Kenny, what was the stock yesterday you mentioned? AMA what? What was that?
Yeah, I'm gonna get my ass kicked if you didn't sell that one earlier.
What was it?
AHMA.
AHMA. Right.
Yeah, nice one. It actually put on another 15 points before crashing.
Nice.
Going up that 17 and change. But yeah, there's always 3 or 4 of these nonsense stocks, and most of them are split adjusted, like reverse stock splits, where they take some shares out of the float. Next thing you know, they create a new story to get some buzz going, and the squeeze begins. Well, you know what's nice? It's like still, even though these pump and dumps, they're just garbage, they're still rigged. Half numbers and whole numbers. Look at the PLRZ, just hit $8. 750 gets you 8. So now if it breaks over 8, it's probably going to 10. So I'll sit and watch this. But this market, again, just it's becoming comical where it tries to go down. You just know it's not going to stay down, and that's been the trade. So today I'm just going to look at see if any residual selling shows up, but probably won't.
Kenny, I got one for you. Yeah, Beyond Meat.
I know, been in play for the last 2 days. Yeah, we're all over it. We're all over the meat.
Right.
What? No, that one, actually, I'm surprised when it rolled over, it came back again. But you know what? People are just dying to trade. There's so much activity. And, again, this one woke up yesterday. I got another one for you. You want to hear something funny? I've been trading for so long that some of the symbols that I look at today were completely different companies.
Yes.
Like, MDB, MDB. So MDB also has MDBX. If anybody remembers the original MDBX, this was called Medbox. This was a company that was supposed to have a vending machine for joints. And it was back before the weed craze happened. This was pre-Cron, pre-Tilray.
I just rolled a joint right now. It was
and it was a cool idea, and the stock went from like 17 cents to like $100, and then they got investigated and went to zero. Like, because before this last junky version of weed 2.0, there was a 1.0, and it's so funny seeing some of these symbols that are completely different stocks now. That I'm so old, is what I'm trying to say.
Are you though?
I don't know. I've been doing this.
I think you look good, Kenny.
My whole life, it's like it's just so weird. Some of these symbols, like ADPT, remember that one? Adaptech. Yeah. Where are my SCSI drives? Remember we were building home computers in our own house? SCSI drives, Adaptech. Now it's a company. Now it's a pharmaceutical company. ADPT. I love it. I get a kick out of that stuff. Anyway, what else?
Let me ask you this. So, what does the market have to do where you're going to be? Where you're going to be rolling over, looking for more downside? What are you looking for?
I need
because you're looking for upside here. Clearly,
I need UVXY to wake up, go green, and get back over 50. If not,
wake up.
If not, it's going to be one of those grindy bull market months like it usually is. I hope for some surprising. I love surprises. So if the market's going to surprise us, we'll be ready. We're ready for it, considering we're sitting here all day and just looking for something to do. But man, anytime you get in the way of the market, you're going to get steamrolled. So just remember the mantra: market never goes down, and shorting is short-lived, and you're going to die. So
shorting is short-lived, and you're going to die.
Yeah. Live by that mantra. And yesterday would have been a great day for you, because my God, market going down on a Monday? What? That doesn't exist.
And can you talk about that? Why doesn't the stock market go down on a Monday?
It's generally a bullish day. It's just a generally bullish day. It's mergers and acquisitions Monday. It's just like it's always a notoriously bullish day, just like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So have a nice day, everybody. Later. The market never goes down. Peace.
Adios. Shorting is short-lived, and you're going to die, Spencer. I don't know if
you heard it here first. The market usually goes up on days that end in Y.
Yeah.
Today we all learned something. All right. We
got
around
Tuesday, or do you need something to turn around in order to have that?
Oh, that's true. Yeah, you would. That would disqualify today on Tuesday. Well, maybe the market went up because people were in a good mood because they bought all sorts of new crap over the weekend, and we all saw the headlines. It was a record Black Friday. Today, you're seeing it was a record Cyber Monday. Everyone's using AI to help them buy stuff, and all the doom and gloom about the consumer is not bearing fruit in the numbers. And Jeff Mackey has been all over this one for weeks. He's been talking to us. He's been saying it publicly. He's been telling us, in meetings that nothing to see here in terms of like fears of a weak consumer, because people are going to spend their money, whether they want to or not. They're going to spend it.
I feel a little bit guilty that I didn't buy anything.
I did. Here, this is my purchase, and this is a brand new MacBook Pro that I got delivered last night. I
I don't
ordered
know how to
it.
use those things.
I ordered it. Like Saturday or Sunday, and it showed up last night. So pretty awesome. And I used AI to help me research. So I guess I am part of the data. Anyway,
Wow.
we got Mr. Mackey in the house, so let's bring him out and talk about all this.
Let's do it.
Yo!
Jay, we've been friends for a long time. Make the call.
I mean, this is pretty professional, guys.
Nice show you got going here.
Mr. Mackey, how are you, sir?
I'm so good. How can I not be good? It's Giving Tuesday. That's what today is. Yesterday was Cyber Monday. Today's Giving Tuesday. It's when we give back. And so we go to the mall, we buy things, and we give it back to people. You can still buy, JC. There's plenty of time to buy. You have 23 days until Christmas. Get out there and shop, baby.
Hold on. Giving Tuesday? Is that really a thing?
Yeah, they're trying to make it a thing. It might be a
Would
marketing
I have to
scheme,
buy
but
something for
then
somebody
again,
else?
Yeah, I think you give. I think it's self-gifting is always giving. I'm not sure what the concept is for other people. I bought my wife a TV set last night for Cyber Monday for the shower because I realized, it's 2025. My wife can't even watch TV in the shower. What kind of dystopian hellscape do I live in? This is garbage.
A
This is
TV for
bullshit.
the
I don't need to
shower?
do it. Yeah. Well, just outside the shower, it works with Alexa, so you can just say, Alexa, put on Landman, and she can listen to Billy Bob Thornton and shower. There's no reason you should have to get out of the shower to watch TV, JC. Not today. Not in this modern world.
Radio or music for the shower, I understand. The TV is a little aggressive.
Yeah,
No?
what are you gonna look at yourself naked? Because I'd rather just watch a little television. I've seen plenty of naked Mackey. But the point is that
I'm
it's
looking
the
pretty
season
good
of
these
giving.
days.
It's the season of buying. Spencer's out there buying himself a computer. That's nice. That's nice from that famous consumer company, Apple. It's an exciting time to be alive, both in terms of the season and just in general.
I hope I don't have to give back any of my gains from yesterday or Friday.
How you get them back? You buy some retailers. Have you seen those things screaming like scalded chimps for the last 5 days because all the mopey stuff you're talking about, Spencer? There's such a drumbeat of downness, such a whiny whimpering. Oh my God,
What are
I'm
people
spending
so
less
angry
this
about,
year than
Mackie?
last. I
What are they
don't
so
know.
angry about?
I think they're angry that they're taking surveys. I think anyone who takes a survey online is disproportionately pissed off about something and looking to grind an axe.
Why am I filling
then-
this thing out? What an idiot I am.
Yeah, and then they and then you make assumptions on what they're going to buy. Watch what people are doing, JC. You know that. I know that. And what people are doing is going to the freaking mall. They're going to the mall. They're buying stuff. It's all these days that are fake. Black Friday. Yeah, it's always been a marketing garbage. It's fake. The deals are not in fact huge. I went to the mall. It was packed. It's absolutely packed everywhere from across the country. One-off mall visits don't mean anything, but I mean, people freaking email me constantly about what's going on at their mall, and they're packed. And we saw a huge bounce back in their stocks and just kind of garbage mall names with low multiples. This is the time of year for trading, and they generally come in better than expected. You're going to see positive comps, and that sends the stocks roaring higher. American Eagles tonight. That's been just a gorgeous stock to buy. With everybody complaining the entire way, NPR talking about Nazi dog whistles and all this crap. Shut up and buy this stock. It's doubled since Sydney Sweeney's ads came out. Doubled. Do you want to make money, or do you want to write ridiculous think pieces about Sydney Sweeney destroying the world by wearing denim? It's bullshit. And Martha
throw
Stewart
it
is
up.
now
Throw
the
up that
spokeswoman.
slide. Mackie does a hell of a job. I wish that you had a picture of Sydney Sweeney with very little clothing on, but instead you brought in Martha Stewart. So
Who is hot as a pistol, amazing,
Yeah.
will be forever. She was
she's
hot
all right.
20 years
I
ago.
mean,
She was hot 40 years ago. She's hot right now. This, I guess, is a dog whistle for people who are into wrongfully convicted felons. Martha went to jail for a while. I'm not sure what the problem
Is she
is gonna be.
wrongfully convicted?
Was she
Oh,
wrongfully
she got
convicted?
so screwed. She got ridiculously hosed. They sent a woman to prison for all the insider trading that went on 25 years ago. She got uppity. They slapped her down. She'd be the first one to tell you, by the way. She's a huge kick in the pants. She's a great hang. She's a great hang. They report tonight. Expectations still low. You're looking for flat comps. I love low expectations. I love American Eagle being kind of out there in the zeitgeist again for the first time in forever. And I think they report better than expected numbers. Does the stock owe us anything? It's up 30% in the last 5 days. So no, but fortunately we've been long before the report, and so that's okay.
Can you throw up the Walmart? Mackie always says, you know, if Mackie was stuck on a deserted island with only one piece of information, it would be the Walmart report. Can you throw that up there? I mean, this thing just closed the month at the highest levels ever. Look at this beast. You know, I mean, they're spending money in Walmart. Mackie, can you explain to the folks who might not be aware, what is it about Walmart that you've got some fun facts on Walmart? So just rattle them off a little bit.
90% of the country lives within 10 miles of a Walmart. They deliver 30% of their products online. You can get to 30% of the orders they get online are there in 3 hours or less. That is crazy.
Oh.
That level of efficiency.
By the way,
for just
Walmart.com.
They're a huge deal. They've got deals with AI right now. They just signed a Chat GPT deal. So you can just kind of talk about a good with your chat and it'll send you to freaking Walmart. You don't even have to leave chat to buy stuff from Walmart. It's kind of amazing. They've got tech stock multiples, but you know what? Like you're saying, JC, this is $1 trillion, almost pure play retailer that's got a tech stock multiple. It's been just ripping higher and it's at all-time highs. Company went public in 1961, I guess, or that's when it was founded. It went public in 1970. It's old, is what I'm saying. It's older than I am, and it's making all-time highs. That's pretty good. That's
almost $900 billion in market capitalization. Wow.
Yep.
And you're saying it's got a multiple of a tech stock. Is that because they're implementing technology? Because I told you the other day, my wife, I noticed that there was a bunch of Walmart packages kept coming in here, and I know for a fact I'm not ordering it because I don't know how to do that. And I was like, hey, is this you ordering all this Walmart stuff? Why are you ordering Walmart? She says, just like this. She says, they deliver on the same day.
Right. Which is freaking amazing. And it's the same stuff. You know, I mean, you want food? This is the biggest grocer in the country, kind of by accident. They're getting tech stock multiples because no one really thought 15 years ago when Dougie Mack, the outgoing CEO, came in, Walmart was really an afterthought. No one really figured they'd be able to compete with Amazon. Hey, if they're going the same day, if your wife's indifferent between whoever's delivering that day, that kind of stigma that people have that no one goes to Walmart, it's kind of just this rundown, scummy place. You know what? It's America. Get over it. Go to a state fair once in a while, get out and mingle with normal, real human beings and shop at Walmart. I was there this weekend, 85-inch television set for $689. Incredible. We live in an age of miracles.
Well, television sets, you know, you see that chart that it's like the prices of things over the last like 25 years, and like TVs are at the bottom, right? They're the ones who've got, and then you got like college, insurance, you know, like stuff at the top, like they're getting more expensive. But TVs, the prices have been declining for a long time. What did you get? 186-inch TV?
I bought an 85-inch TV in 2013. To your point, not a great investment. It cost me like 10 grand. It's fuzzy. I use it in my Peloton Nook now, but that's why I caught my eye. I mean, it's the size of a wall. You could build a house.
Dude, I bought a TV in 2008 that still works.
Beautiful.
It's a plasma television. I had it in my apartment in New York City. I took it to California. I brought it back to the East Coast. It's moved 3-4 times. It's still going.
Yeah, I old enough to remember when there used to be television repairmen. You would go to a guy and get your cathode ray returned. That has not been a growth industry. Television repair.
That was a trade,
turns out
right?
They're
like a
disposable.
trade. Like you study how to fix TVs.
It was.
That
is no longer a trade. You should have been a plumber. You would have been better off, as it turns out.
That's what I tell people I do for a living. When I meet people and they're like, "Oh, JC, what do you do?" Like if I actually told them what I did, like we go down a whole rabbit hole. Oh, I have this stock and blah blah blah. I'm a plumber.
I'm a plumber. But JC,
keep a little pen in your nice house. Like, how are you a plumber? Oh, I own the plumbing company. Oh, okay.
Everyone has a sink, JC. Everyone has a sink.
Dude, my plumber is the man. We see the plumber at the bar all the time. You know, we take the kids to the restaurant. Like, there's a bar there, and the plumber's there, and the plumber knows some of the issues we've had over the years. And like, my wife thinks it's the funniest thing ever. You know, running into
and you know who knows all
the
wives
bar
much better than everyone else? The plumber. The plumber sees your real wife, man. That it's you don't get in the plumber. Like, just treat the plumber with respect because he's in your house when you're not there. You don't want to hassle.
Dude, our plumber's the man.
Jeff,
he thinks we're disgusting.
Jeff, I want to say I love how you've cultivated this community of people that will send you pictures or send you reports of what they see out in the world in the stories because they know that you care. Like no one else.
I do.
No one else cares.
I send them pictures from the mall.
about the
JC
mall.
does. JC does.
The
Yeah.
mall
Doesn't
in,
look like
in
very good
Albuquerque,
traffic. It'll be
but
like
you
this
care.
blurry little accidental selfie. JC.
You're like,
takes,
look, Jeff,
hey,
look where I am. I'm at the
there's people
mall.
in line. Yeah, I'm at a bougie mall.
But that's like
I
the
get pictures
best
from all
mall,
over the
right? The
place.
King of Prussia
Yeah.
is like the best
Yeah.
mall, right?
It's a
My
big
buddy
one.
Lance sent me just a picture in the Scottsdale Mall today. He's like, look, the parking lot's all full. It's
Dude,
all
you're
full
that guy,
packed."
Mackie. You're
Yeah,
that guy.
I know. I know. I'm like, I'm glad you're killing time just texting me, man. How's it going, Lance?
Well, I thought you'd be proud. Be like, look at me, Mackie. I'm at the mall.
I'm totally proud. I'm completely there for it. Don't get me wrong, man. Keep sending me the pictures. I love your DMs. I love send me the photographs from the mall. Let me know what's going out there in the real world. You know, it's a little insular out here in San Diego.
I'm sending Mackie at like 4:00 in the morning. I'm sending him screenshots of the Bank of America Global Fund Manager survey talking about consumer spending. He's like, nice.
And I'm awake and there to talk to you about it. That's
Dude, you
why
wake
they
up
text me.
early, man. You're crazy.
I do. I get up early.
Yeah.
I keep hours.
Jeff,
Yeah.
you're going live today, 1:00. Actually, I believe with JC. Tell us what you're going to talk about.
We're going to talk about the wonderful world of retail, the consumer as the biggest of big dogs, the only economic indicator you need. And we're going to talk about trading options, how we can soup up our returns investing in retail. It's going to be a holiday extravaganza. And we're going to talk a little bit about a man named Santa and how he's going to deliver again this year. We're at the part of the Christmas movie where everyone realizes that Santa's real, where the little kid learns to believe again.
That's today at 1:00. The link is on the screen. The link is in the chat. And Santa is real, and everyone is spending money.
And how to invest. We're going to talk about how you go to the mall, how the process of investing, how you cultivate this information to use it to make investable returns to fund your freaking Christmas. We talk a lot about shopping, but you got to pay for stuff too. And so we're going to come up with investable conclusions and the process of it. I'm going to explain a little bit of the magic and how I'm doing it and getting in there in the corners. Not everyone wants to go through the text messages from the mall, but I do. And I do it all day. I do it 24/7, 365. So let me tell you how I turned it into a career.
I'm looking forward to this, Jeff. I'm seeing American Express hitting new all-time highs. I'm seeing Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan hitting all-time highs. To your point, Apple's a consumer stock hitting new all-time highs. I'm very interested to hear what you have to say about that, because there's a lot of stocks out there that people don't consider consumer stocks. But what's the stat on Apple? They make how much of their money selling consumer products?
They make like about 90% of their revenues go to people like Spencer, go to people like your iPhone. Is that an industrial machine you got in your pocket? Are you just happy to see me? Or is it in fact a consumer product that you're putting all your music on, your movies on? If Google doesn't have a consumer that they're advertising to, it doesn't have anybody to talk to. If they're just doing business to business, that isn't what makes the world go round. What makes the world go round are all the people that are spending all their money at Walmart every single damn day. That's why it's the best source of data. That's why Americans spend better than anyone else in the world. Really, serious as a heart attack. We're the best consumers on earth. And if you need an indicator of the health of the consumer, it's whether or not we're shopping. And it's not just inflation. It's not just, we're bucking up in spite of our economic fears. It's because we shop as a nation. And when we don't, there's something really wrong. Right now,
I was going to ask you about that, Jeff. I was going to ask you about the inflation, because I've seen that several. I saw the chat. I've seen it several times in the last few days. So yeah, maybe people spent more on a dollar-to-dollar basis, but they bought less stuff because prices were higher, right?
And let the economists figure it out later, man. You know what I mean? It's the buy now, pay later. That's kind of the boogeyman now, that everyone's shopping on credit and they're going to hit the wall. No one's going to be able to pay their credit card bills. That's a fine debate on some leafy little courtyard where you're talking to an economist and you don't want to make money. But truthfully, just watch where the people are going, and you make money on seeing where the flow of cash is going to realize denim culture's hot this year. Athleisure was hot the year before that. There's always a trend. There's always a place to go with your investing dollar. You just got to figure out where that is, because the consumer is going to be there as the lifeblood of what's driving the rest of the economy.
Yeah, that's a good take, Poppy. Don't overthink the intricacies of consumer spending and where it fits into the economy, what it means about whether we're in a recession or not. Just let.
It's just so condescending, such a moot point. You know, I mean, you're not here to be other people's financial planner. Buy now, pay later. You know, that's a real thing. And maybe it's the end of society. I doubt it. Maybe it's just people finding a different way to kind of flow through the goods to get what they want, which we do every year and have for the last 2,000
Why?
years.
Because people think like they're trying to be like a glorified hall monitor and think that that's bad for the consumer, the buy now, pay later, something like that.
It makes you sound smart. It's not that it's not smart. It's not. It's fine. It's a fine academic point. You're right in terms of an inflation driver. You had 3% odd inflation, which probably understates it. That obviously is a big part of what you see in year-over-year growth. But more consumers are shopping than the year before. You see huge growth online of shopping. The AI bots, the whole point of them, Spencer, as you were talking about, is to find the lowest price. And so it's a great time to be a consumer. It's you don't just get to pass on inflation as a thing to every shopper in America. And so you can make kind of two sides of the argument, but at the end of the day, if you want to make money, you just got to watch where the actual flow is diverting from one channel to the other and figure out kind of how the mix is coming out and belong to companies making the products people want. That's a pretty time-honored way to make money and invest in companies in my space.
There was a nice like centerpiece type article, I think over the weekend about, I think it was in the Journal, about buy now, pay later, and how people, they always find people who to fit whatever narrative the article is, and this woman funded a luxurious lifestyle on buy now, pay later, but then ended up in like crazy debt because you got to actually pay that stuff down the line, it turns out. So
right, and I feel bad for that woman, but man, that's just not journalism. That's not going to make you money as an investable idea. The fact of the matter is people are buying more denim than they did a year ago. That's really good for Gap stock. It's people are still going to department stores, even though they shouldn't, even though they don't make sense, even though in the long run Macy's is probably going to close. I don't care, because tomorrow they're going to report better than expected numbers, and that stock's worked really well. So, it's don't get tied up in kind of the propeller head economics arguments. They don't make you money. They make you sound smart at a cocktail party. The two are different.
Very good point. All right, 1:00 today, Jeff will be live with JC. Use the link that's on the screen and in the chat to get the video, and then we'll probably throw the replay up on YouTube after the fact. But if you want to be there live, and there it is, 1:00 today. And then I think Jeff and I are probably going to do a little shorter version of this tomorrow as well. And Jeff goes live every Wednesday at 1:00. So
I'm looking forward to that, Jeff. I'll see you today at 1.
All right, buddy. We'll see you in a few hours.
Be there.
All right. Yeah, Jeff. Yeah, this is this whole time of the year from like, I don't know, early November to now or through the holidays is Jeff's Christmas. His Christmas lasts like 2 months because you get retailer earnings, then you get Black Friday, then you get like the actual holiday shopping season and actual Christmas, right? And so find someone who cares about anything as much as Jeff cares about retail. That's what I was saying last week when we were saying what we're thankful for. If one day Jeff Mackey just like stopped caring about like consumer and retail, I would question everything I know, because it's what he does. And I love that he does it. I love that he cares so much. And by the way, I heard he's going to share a couple. There are apparently some retail stocks that have demolished technology in terms of returns, just crushed them. And you wouldn't think it because it's retail, but the winners are out there. So are the losers.
It's interesting. Mackey's been talking about how this is the biggest Christmas, holiday spending ever. And every year that's the case, right? Every year Americans spend a lot more money. So we know that, and we talked to like Louis, who lives in New Zealand, and we talked to Grant, and people live all over the world, and I have to explain to them, be like, listen, Americans, it's just an American thing. This time of year, we just want to spend money. Like Americans just, I mean, for some reason I didn't. I think I just forgot. But nevertheless, Americans just want to spend money. So if you don't give Americans something to buy, like, what are you doing, right? So like, I got my ear to the ground. I know what businesses are doing. The best businesses out there are crushing it this week. The worst businesses out there, they decided to skip Black Friday. They decided to not give their audience something to buy. Like, you could see it, right? So if you work at one of these companies that didn't take advantage of this week, you should probably be looking for a new job, right? There's bad management. That's poor leadership, not taking advantage of this week. And you call yourself a business? You're not a business. You're a non-for-profit, right? So look around and look at the companies that are thriving this time of year, because the ones that aren't, they're not going to be in business very long.
Yeah, it's a fact that people just want to spend money.
Why wouldn't you give them something to buy?
I haven't bought a new laptop in 6 years. I was just saying I gotta buy a new pair. I haven't bought a new pair of shoes in like 4 years. I gotta buy new shoes, right? And the things that I basically do all my shopping for myself now, right? And other folks, but me too. You know what I mean? So yeah, I just want to spend money. Just want to. It's ingrained in our culture. I don't know what to say. I was seeing some stuff yesterday about Shopify. How Shopify, I guess, was down for part of the day for some people. So they had a tough day yesterday. But
can we throw up slide 2, because this one's a little bit surprising.
Middle of a range.
This one's a little bit. I mean, I know it because I follow this chart very often. But to most people, they might not realize what is happening with the New York Times. This stock is.
I realize
this stock is breaking out of a 25-year base. Right. And you know me, like, I'll call out shitty journalists and, shitty media companies that are trying to screw everybody over. I'll call them out, like Comcast, the companies that own like MSNBC and CNBC and all these disasters are at the lowest levels they've been in decades. Terrible company. New York Times, on the other hand, like Fox, right? Fox also crushing. New York Times, killing it. Coming out of a 25-year base.
I feel so guilty. So I'm a shareholder. I own the New York Times. So I'm also a subscriber, and my subscription is really cheap. Right? It's like it's like $4 a month. And they emailed me like 3 months ago, and they said your teaser rate is expiring. Your new rate is like $20 a month. And I went, the fuck it is. Cancel. And they were like, wait, don't cancel. We'll give you your old rate back. And I was like, I'm back, baby. Let's go.
That's simple, huh, Spencer? That's all it took.
So I worked against my own interests in that regard. I feel like, but yeah, I didn't hesitate. I was like, no, you're gone. $20 a month, not for me, sir. No, thank you. But for $4 a month, definitely, I'm in, baby. So yeah, as a consumer, that was cool. As a shareholder, maybe not so much. But it's working for me. So
that's hilarious, by the way. Full disclosure, Spencer Israel, easy sale. Doesn't give him a hard time at all. Be like, okay, I'm in. Okay, fine. Sorry.
I'm back, baby. Let's go. $4 a month, count me in. Well, I'm spending like twice that on like cloud storage. So like, $4, ain't nothing. Anyway, yeah, that's a great chart. That's an awesome chart. No one talks about
25-year base. 25-year base. Look at the great financial crisis. Look at the lows off the great financial crisis. I mean, we're talking about, this is like a 50x, off those lows, doubled this bull market alone, and now breaking out of a 25-year base. When I see something like this, and you guys know me, if Strazza was here, he'd be like, "Ooh, look at that base," right? Strazza would get all excited about this base. Strazza, if you're out there, Strazza's, I know, living his Florida man life, going to Florida man conferences down there. But Strazza, if you're out there listening, tell me you wouldn't like this. You know who would like this one right here? A Mr. William O'Neill. Mr. William O'Neill might be a fan of this chart, right? Jonathan says that the New York Times has gone downhill. Stopped reading it about a decade ago. I will never read anything that these people write. I can't imagine why I ever would. Not the point. Not the point. New all-time highs is not a characteristic of a downtrend, right, Spencer?
It all depends on what you read. I don't read 98% of it.
What would I possibly read on the New York Times? I'm not going to read the sports section. Do they even have a sports section? I don't even know.
Well, they it's complicated. Yes, they closed theirs, but then they outsourced it to an acquisition. So there's a whole thing. But I don't read like the front page, for example, right? I like the business section, I like the money section, and I'm not gonna lie, I like the style section a little bit. I read some style stuff. So yeah. But again, I'm missing almost all of what
Spencer, when I think of a man with style, you are what I think.
No. It's not clothes. It's not that. There's like other stuff within that section that I like to read.
Like what?
So I like to read well, I don't know why I'm so embarrassed. I like to read, there's like short little articles about like almost like wedding announcements, and I like to read them for some reason. I don't know why. Or people like talk about like how they met, and I like that stuff. So.
Here, you want to be embarrassed? Look at I got my flowers right? So this is
Yeah.
I got this from my wife at the Masters, and I'm the one that drinks out of it all the time. So it's very girly. So see, you're
Yeah.
not the only one embarrassed. Sven.
There's also a good column called it's called Modern Love. It's it's interesting. I don't know. I like it. Anyway, moving on. Before we bring Phil on, a couple of notes quickly. Steve is out today. He'll be back tomorrow. So we're not going to do open. The open bar is closed today. Is the bottom line. The open bar is closed. The open bar will be open again next
They
week.
took the whole bar, the whole fucking bar.
That's right. That's right. That's the first thing. Second thing is I did just drop a link in the chat. I've been sending out a daily note that sort of has the rundown of what's happening on the channel today. But what we're going to start doing, in addition to that, is send an evening note that has, among other things, the chart deck from the morning show. We've done this intermittently. I think we tried it maybe a year or two ago. Well, we're bringing it back. So if you want to get on that list, A, get my morning, sort of rundown email, but B, get the charts from the show emailed to you. Use that link. I just dropped it in the chat, and I'll talk more about this kind of as a reminder every day, but I wanted to put that out there before I forgot and before we brought on Phil Perlman. So consider the message sent. Phil is here. Should we bring him out? Bring him out?
Bring him out, Pearl Dog. Boo, 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 boo. Pearl Dog.
What's up, fellas?
Hey.
Pearl Dog, I've got a confession to make.
Oh my God, what did you do now?
Dude, I was so good, fasted all day yesterday, good dinner around 5 o'clock.
Nice.
Pork chops, green beans, sauteed onions. I mean, just all the great Perlman things. Then I, put the kids down, laid down, was watching some TV, got into the candy. Halloween candy in the house. Not good.
Halloween candy.
Not good.
6 weeks.
What are you 12?
I know. I'm such an asshole. I feel like an asshole. I don't feel good. Like I feel great when I go to bed early and I don't eat like shit at night. I got into the candy last night and I'm suffering the consequences. I feel like such an idiot.
You are the chief scientist and the sole subject of the most important scientific experiment that you will ever be involved with. And that is you and how you feel. And so that, that messaging that you just told yourself, you felt like crap, you feel like crap now. It's really important information scientifically. Now, whether you choose to,
Bounce back.
affect your behavior based on the data that you are collecting. I mean, you're a science guy. You're a price behaviorist. You look at data. It's just numbers. It's just math. You tell me that all the time. You've been telling me that for 10 years. Hey, I do the counting. You're just counting, right? You're like, okay, I have the candy at 10 o'clock at night. I feel like shit at 6 in the morning. It happened again. I did it again. There must maybe there's a correlation here. Maybe it's causal. What's that?
I was counting Sour Patch Kids at 10:30 at night is what I was doing. What an asshole I am.
I was counting Sour Patch.
I feel like such a loser. What am I, 12?
Yeah, a loser. Yeah, you'll continue to do it until you make the choice not to.
I don't for a week, and then it gets me,
Right. No, I understand. You know what you do? You just get back on the horse. You just start over, because one of those times, dude, I quit drinking 20 times. 19 times I failed. And, I failed disastrously. What's that?
I've never quit drinking.
Right, but I'm just saying.
I went like a month once.
Okay, I have a question for you. Do you ever have a feel for the market or the feel for price or the feel for a specific equity, like that stock is my bitch and I have a feel and I know where it's going and I know it's about to break out and I fucking know it and I take the bet and I win? Do you ever have that like intuitive sense with an asset in terms of its direction and velocity?
Whenever I start to think that, I smack myself in the hand and be like, nah, you don't know anything, stupid. Right? So that's one thing. And yeah, that's kind of how I look at it. You know, whenever I start to think that I'm pulling one over on the market, I've learned the hard way that I should just smack myself in the face and go for a walk.
Okay.
So no is the answer to your question.
Honest answer. I appreciate that. Now you look at data and you look at multiple. Do you ever think that some of the data that you are integrating or sort of taking in is not necessarily at the totally conscious level? That you're just sort of looking at all of these different things and seeing all of these different patterns, and it's telling you something, but you're not necessarily. Go ahead. What is that?
No, that's intuition.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yes. So you
100%.
have some intuition.
Yes. 100%.
And how would you describe? How would you describe it? Don't let me describe it and put words in your mouth.
You know, I used to always think that, you know, the intuition, like, ignore it. That's not like a thing. Follow the data. But then as I've talked to and become friends with some of the greatest traders in the world, you know, they talk to me about following your intuition because there's actually something there. Like, for example, like if you're a basketball player, you know, you could just have a feel for where the defender is, and you got a funny feeling that if you're going to go right, the defender's going to do X, and you could throw a behind the back pass because your boy is running, you know, on the other side, and you got that feel for the defense because you've been playing with these guys, you've been playing in the game all day. There's a feel, there's an intuition of what you think that defender might do. And as I've come to learn in the market, you know, Annie Duke talks about listening to your intuition. Peter Brand talks about listening to your intuition. Brett Steenbarger talks about, you know, listening to your intuition. And those people are way smarter than me. So I started listening to my intuition a little bit more. So, you know, that in that case, I've evolved for sure.
Well, you're a pretty modest guy because I don't know how much smarter they are than you are. You're pretty good. Let me ask you this.
Brett
Do you think the fact
on a whole nother fucking level?
He's a pretty great guy. You know, his guy. And by the way, if you're watching this today, his early books on, you know, cognitive behaviorism and market participant behavior, those are some really, really, really good reads. I think he did some of his best work back then. Forget the titles. There was two of them in particular that I'm thinking of. Just really, those were fundamental to me in my sort of in my own development back in the day. We're going back, you know, 20 years. But anyway, so I definitely worth looking them up. And next week I'll have them for you and throw them up here so everybody can see. So let me ask you this question. Do you think that intuition has been affected by the fact that you've looked at like 10 gabillion charts over the last 20 years of your life?
Yeah, and it's not just the 10 gabillion charts, but the fact that I could draw them for you at this point. So for me, every week, every month that goes by is turn the page, right? So it's just like the next page in the story, right? I know what the story is like until now. I know what all the data says until now. And then like the New York Times that we were just looking at, I know that this thing has been stuck below those highs from 25 years ago for 25 years. And now all of a sudden it's not. So like that's new information. Healthcare was making new 52-week lows a few months ago. Now it's at all-time highs. Biotech sucked forever. Now they go up every day, right? There's going to come a time where energy is going to break out. I think one day energy is going to break out. It's going to be like, wow, that thing did nothing for 18 years. And now all of a sudden it's breaking out. That's new information that is relevant because I understand the context of where it's been.
Fantastic. Okay. So here's so that intuition that people like, you know, brilliant people like Steenbarger and Annie Duke and yourself, putting you in that category, and don't modest me. I know, dude, you've looked at 10 million charts in the day. We've had 1,000 conversations. You're a brilliant guy, and you're an expert price behaviorist. Intuition is so. Here's my hypothesis that I'm working on right now. We've established that intuition, it may be based on experience, maybe other things. Intuition is a real thing when it comes to price behavior. My hypothesis is that metabolic health improves intuition. So experience is like if you're looking at what the different components of intuition related to price behavior are, one of them is definitely going to be experience. One of them is probably visual spatial intelligence when it comes to especially technical analysis. One of them is experience. And for me, my hypothesis is that one of them is metabolic health, because the healthier that you get, here's the rationale for the hypothesis. The healthier you get, the more tuned you get to your internal experience. There's a fancy word is interoception.
Introception.
Interoception is a fancy word for it, but really just the internal cues. Like, what is my body telling me? Am I tired? Am I energized? Am I focused? Am I hungry? Am I cold? Am I having a feel? Am I sad? But am I having a sense, right? Internal sense that the next move is higher in XLE because it's been farting around at this level for years already.
Yeah.
And it's finally starting to do a little bit of something different than it was doing for this long period of time, and so forth. To me, and my only basis for this presently is my own experience. My own intuition has improved very significantly throughout my health journey, to the point where now I'm like, man, I don't even want to think anymore. You know what I mean? Like consciously think. Like I let the thinking, I'm like more and more letting the thinking happen below the surface, and just having these felt senses that, okay, I'm going to go do this now, or I'm going to go market behavior or not, market related or not market related.
Do you ever do you ever schedule time to think? Or is it like when you go for your walks, that's your time to think? Like how good are you at setting time away from setting time aside just to think and not, have no plans? How often do you do
that is a very fundamental question to me, because I meditate all the time, and I didn't even know I was doing it.
Me neither. Me neither.
Yeah. I was trying to meditate. Yeah. And I couldn't. I can't. Dude, I'm so ADHD. I can't sit for, I can't sit and do this whole thing. I tried, and I would, I got the books with the one question, and you sit there and ponder. I could do it a little bit now, especially better, but not really. It's not my thing. But I would go for these long walks, and then one day I'm like reading an article. It's talking about different types of meditation, and it's like walking meditation, and I'm like, I do that pretty much every day. Pretty much every day, where I just am out there and I'm just like chasing my dog or whatever. And then all of a sudden I'm having this thought that's like way out here. And it's like, oh my God, I just solved a problem that I was having 3 days ago in my work, in my business or whatever, all the time. So walking meditation, I can't recommend it enough. I think nature is a natural catalyst for walking meditation. You get out there, you get trees, you look up at the sky and you see the trees and you see the clouds. And I think that is all just incredibly conducive. You get tuned in to the path of the sun over the course of the weeks and the months and the seasons. Yeah. And I think you really tune in and you just sort of let your mind wander. You have that experience as well?
Yeah, because, I spend a lot of time outside. I spend a lot of my time in front of screens. So when I'm not in screens and I'm in other meetings, I like to not be in front of a screen, right? So I'll go outside and I have a trail. I've got an acre of woods in my backyard and I just have a trail. So I just do laps all day, within reason, unless the weather's bad. But I live in pretty mild climate. So I'm out there a lot, just doing laps, out in the woods. And, you make an interesting point about watching kind of the trajectory of the sun as the seasons progress, because when you're in the same part, whether you're at a park or your backyard or whatever it is, when you're in the same place over and over again, you start to see where the sun is setting. When I'm grilling, in the summer I'm grilling, it's broad daylight, it starts to get darker. Now I got this special light for the grill so that I can actually see what I'm doing, or bring my phone if I want to be ghetto, right? But you could just, you're doing the same things at the same times. It just looks different. And you start to notice that, kind of by accident, right? Subconsciously. So it's
You
funny
know,
you
I'm
said
glad you reminded me. It's now December 2nd. We're 19 days away from the shortest day of the year. I'm glad you brought this up.
I
So
was
the
just
intuition,
talking about this, Pearls, with my family. I
Oh.
literally was just talking about this.
really, so the intuition thing I'm going to come back to over time, right? So my larger theory is called fitness alpha for those of you guys who don't know. And the view is that the healthier that we get, the better that we perform across multiple modes of functioning. The market and market participant behavior is one of them. And it's an important one. And that's why I use the term alpha, and I'm a market guy and whatever. But fitness alpha is real, right? The healthier you get, the better you perform. And now I'm focusing on one area of that, many areas: focus, energy, stamina, emotional control. And now I'm starting to get into intuition and metabolic health. But I'm going to put that aside. We're going to come back to that and that larger umbrella. But what I want to just mention, and I'm glad you brought this up, 19 days until the winter solstice. If you're in the Northeast, we're going to have a day on the 21st of December that is 9 hours and 15 minutes long. And then the evening is 14 hours and 45 minutes. So well under 40% of the day is daylight, and well over 60% of the full 24-hour period is nighttime. And so people have a tendency to have depressed affect, to get depressed, or have seasonal affective disorder. And my favorite remedy for that is getting outside when the sun is hot. You don't get that much time, right? It's got to be like after 10 o'clock, maybe 10 o'clock to about 3 is really you're only going to get 5 hours of it a day. But I would say get outside. There's going to be, 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock. You don't have to trade every day from 9:30 to 4 o'clock. No. You could get outside for 45 minutes at 12 o'clock or 11 o'clock during the day and just get yourself outside, let the sun hit your face, move your body, let your, to your point about walking and thinking, let your mind meander. And it's my contention that is a better treatment for seasonal affective disorder than SSRIs.
What's SSRIs?
That's like, old school antidepressant medication, like Prozac.
Yeah, nature's probably better than the drugs.
Nature over Prozac all day long. It's also better than alcohol. It's also better than pot. Moving your body outside during the daylight, during these very short days, is better than all the other things. And of course, if it's really clinical, or if you're having feelings like you might hurt yourself, consult a doctor. Don't listen to what I'm saying. But I'm just saying, for that minor grade, for that low grade, that dysthymic, that's the fancy word, for this dysthymic or seasonal affective kind of sadness or depression, just get outside, let the sun hit your face, walk a little bit, maybe turn your phone notifications off, let your mind wander a little bit. You're going to feel great. You got about 6 weeks of it. You got now 3 weeks, and then 3 weeks after the solstice, and then you're in the second half of February, and you're moving towards spring. Days are getting longer, faster at that point.
Let me ask you something, Perlman, before we let you run. There's my mom wants me to take the vitamin D plus K or something like that. Am I saying that right? Which is the one that I need to be taking right now? Because I'm not taking anything.
So here's the thing. So if you're in the Northeast, during the winter and fall months, you're not getting enough vitamin D. And the vitamin D is related to so much of your functioning, but really your immune system, especially during the winter, during the cold and flu season, the D vitamin. And so being D deficient during the winter is not a great look. And you'll have a tendency to get colds, and you might get the flu more easily or whatever. And so what you want to do is you want to really ramp up the D intake. I just take a D3. You could take a D.
But is there like a D plus K? Like you need the K too?
You could take the K if you
I don't know what the difference is between any of these things. This is a legit question.
You know what I do? I take Centrum.
Yeah, D plus K too. There we go. Our man Higgins. That's what he's saying.
Yeah, you could just take a 1 a day, and you're going to get some of that. I take a 1 a day, and then I take a D3 also. Sometimes I take 2 of them. But you're not going to get the toxicity level for D is very, very high. You get the K in there with the 1 a day. You could they have the pills, D plus K. You could do that. It's all good. It's like all good. It's all better than being inside all winter and not getting any natural vitamin D. You also get it through foods. But if you really want to, the majority of people living in the north part of the country become vitamin D deficient during the fall and winter months. And so to correct that, you take a D, you take a D plus K, take a D3 better than anything else. D plus K is fine. You take a D3 with a 1 a day, you're going to get it all. You don't have to really be fancy or complicated about it.
All right. Vitamin D. I'm going to do it. I always say I'm going to do it, and then I don't do it. JC, just take a Mega Man, 2 fish oils, and get off the sugar. That's pretty good advice right there.
That's pretty good advice. Who said that?
Sultry Surf says.
Sultry Surf, bro. I like it. I like
Mega Man, 2 fish oils, and get off the sugar.
There you
hear that, Spencer?
Done. All right, let's get out of here. Thank you, Phil and Jeff and Kenny and chat. We'll be back tomorrow. Brian Lund will be our guest. We'll see you there. See you at 1 o'clock for the stream with Jeff and JC. All right.
Adios, guys.
I can't take no loss. I don't even know what it costs. I hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, hit the ground, then it go off.